What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk with you about fasting. Fasting, well, it's kind of weird. When you tell people you're fasting, they look at you kind of funny. Well, what do you mean you're not going to eat? And I'm not talking about skipping a meal. I'm going a few days without food. My record is 6 days without eating. I've done that twice. And man, I learned so much about myself when I no longer have, constant food access, and I'm faced with my demons when I really want to eat. When I really want to eat and I'm hungry and I'm purposely saying no to myself and the desires of my flesh. It's really, really challenging. And what you begin to find is that all of your desires, for the most part, are physical. It's food, water, sex, sleep, safety. That's what we think about most of the time, and if you look at society, you'll see that. But when you go without it, it's like it's on your mind way more. And then to a certain point, you kind of got to stop thinking about it. You drive yourself crazy. And then you start to ask yourself, are we anything different than the animals? Well, the animals, they only care about those things, but we're human beings. We pride ourselves on being something different. But are we? Are we something really different? And the only thing that I've been able to come up with is, well, we have our community, and of course we have our spiritual beliefs. Now, we don't know any of those for sure, but we have faith if we do. But on a fundamental level of what we could actually prove, we're animals. We're just sophisticated animals. And the reasons that we've evolved to be as sophisticated and technological as we are, and dominant as we are, is because largely we haven't had to worry about safety for the longest time. And if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you're going to see that safety is the most base desire or need. And then once we have that settled, we can begin to focus on making our life a little bit easier, a little bit safer. And then it slowly goes up the hierarchy until we're only focused on ourselves and our spirituality. I mean, think about it from a level of perspective of what you need to have if you're living in the wild, to where you could just spend all of your day on a computer, meditating, reading. Like, that's a very high level of safety, So we have to have safety first and foremost. And when we're always thinking about food and water and the basic things for survival, there's really no difference between us and animals. So the minute we lose that, we'll go right back to our ways. All of the riots in the street over politics will come to an end. Feminism will come crashing down as they need protection. Men will probably stop being so civil, be more aggressive. So, that's my realization from going without food for days on end. And I've done it with other things. I could expand on this in some other videos. My hair's getting a little messy here on the surf. I'm just walking the beach, talking a bit, getting tan, getting jacked. But I've gone weekends where I didn't talk to anyone, I didn't do any technology. I kind of just sat or read or wrote or just deprived myself of all dopamine. That was really powerful. I've also gone time without sex or any sexual stimulus. One time, I'll never do this again, but I did 5 months of semen retention. I can go through a whole video on that process and what it did for me, but it was transformative. Just saying no to the desires of the flesh is really difficult. And as far as fasting without food, I think the key to self-mastery is in controlling what you ingest. That's probably the most common desire. Think about semen retention. If you know that sex is not going to be a part of your life, you're going to give very little, if any, attention to women. And think about that. Think about how much time on an everyday basis is devoted on some level to women. Well, you want to get a nice car because you want access to women. You want to get hot ones. You go to the gym, probably in some part for the sake of getting women. Your house, you probably have a more extravagant house than you really need, or at least that you would have if you knew you were going to be by yourself, where you could just be on a bed on the floor. But instead you have a nice elaborate place because you want to impress the women that you have. At least I'm hoping it's women plural, not women. You guys know I'm non-monogamous. I like abundance and freedom in my woman life. But I mean, so much of what we do is because we want women. But if you were to take that away and you just don't care, you're going to find that all of your energy goes back into yourself, making yourself stronger, more self-actualized, more developed. And you're not going to spend any time on the petty things that go into getting women. You're not going to give in to any of their bullshit. You're not going to try to appease them. You're not going to cut corners, take off work early. You're not going to do a lot of the shit that you do. Maybe you wouldn't even take them out to eat if it meant that you wouldn't get laid. I don't know. But when we begin to go without things is when we realize we really didn't need what we thought we needed. And the simple existence, to me, is the most masculine existence. Right now I feel a lot more masculine being on the remote beaches of Mexico by myself in this little beach hut than I did last week living in the downtown penthouse in Medellin, Colombia. Because I'm faced with nothing but myself. You know, there I'm getting anything I want, food delivery, multiple women. Like, life is just on easy mode. And that's good. I like that life. But I don't like that life if it means that I get disconnected with who I really, truly am. And I don't need nearly the shit that I need in my life. But a lot of the reason I'll tell you that I have it is just because I enjoy either the experience, but probably at the base end result is only because of women. Like, I'm happy with this experience. You know, I'm by myself at the beach. I'm doing my work. I'm healthy. I'm doing what I need to do. But the only thing that's lacking in this moment by choice is the women. Well, where are the women? We're 30 minutes from the town. You know, I couldn't live too long without that. But when you have multiple women in your life, sometimes it's nice to have a little quiet time to yourself like I'm having right now, because in about 3 days it's going to be women frenzy in Mexico City. But it wasn't always like that. You know, it used to be that I didn't have any dates. I didn't have any options. Or maybe I was stuck in a relationship that I didn't like. I kind of felt well, actually, I did feel depressed when I was in heartbreak. I certainly wasn't getting any girls in that time. And if you're in heartbreak, I know how bad that could be. I have a whole program designed to help get you guys out of heartbreak and into abundance and freedom, getting your confidence back. That's on my website. That's the ultimate breakup transformation guide. If that's you, click on the link. Let's work together and let me pull you out of this. As far as fasting, that's a big part of my health protocol. I help put together coaching programs for people too that want to get aligned with primal health. So you can go to my website, check it out, raytarzan.com. Happy to help you guys however I can. and we'll see you on the next video.